Hey everybody, we are back here having
Hey,
pizza time.
it's time for a slice.
Mario and Dakota back again, talking about Paul Rubens, Pee Wee,
We'll talk a little Pee Wee, and we'll talk a little.
talk a little
I
life.
want I want to dip into Napoleon Dynamite too, because I
Yeah.
just picked that up. I just picked that up for like a quarter on VHS, and yeah, I was just having a lot of thoughts about how these well, I saw Pee Wee's Big Adventure when I was like, in elementary school. Me and my brother watched it, and like we
hmm
were not, maybe even we might have been like kindergarten or preschool or some shit. But when the semi truck driver, like, like that scene where it's like, tell him Large
Yeah.
Marge sent you,
hmm
dude. Me and my brother fucking screamed so loud, and we jumped under the couch and we watched the rest of the movie from underneath the couch. Because I was like, oh my god, this is gonna happen again. Like I was like,
Yeah.
it was actually like the first jump scare I think I've ever like
hmm
recorded in my mind. And yeah, we shit ourselves. And the rewatching it a few days ago, because I know you just watched it for the first time recently. I was like, this is pretty much like an art house comedy. And like,
hmm
as I've gotten older, I've seen all these fucking art house movies and kind of weird dark comedies. But that was for sure like the introduction to like movies like that. And
Yeah.
I think also one of the best. Because I don't know, sometimes with the art house movies, there's a little bit of an element of boredom, or
hmm
somebody trying to outsmart you about whatever they
hmm
thought this fucking movie's about. And sometimes that fucking shit turns me off. And like something like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, like it's just a blast. And like, dude, that whole bit at the Alamo where he's just waiting for
Yeah.
the whole tour to be over. Dude, like that shit cracks me up now, like way more as an adult. Like I didn't understand how funny that scene was when I was a kid, but watching that now, I'm just like, oh my god, dude, this shit is so fucking. And like, when Tim Burton was on a fucking, dude, hot streak.
This was his first movie
Ever?
directing. Tim Burton.
You got to be fucking kidding me! I didn't even
No.
know that.
Yeah.
This is the first movie in his discography,
In
or
his in his discography.
discography.
Yeah.
He makes, yeah.
It's his
Everybody's a
first
musician.
LP.
Oh,
Yeah, but like
dude.
there's so many fucking Tim Burtonisms in the whole thing, you know? The like white
Oh yeah,
picket
big
fest
time.
stuff, the score from Danny Elfman.
Yeah, even that like kind of claymation jump scare, like
Yeah, that's
very
super Burton Beetlejuice, yeah.
yeah, super Beetlejuice. Damn, dude, I thought he was well on his way when he made this movie. That's pretty crazy though, thinking about how good it is and how much it blew me away, and being like, it made me think, oh, he must have been
hmm
well into killing it at this point. That
Bro,
seriously shocks
he
me.
was he was a little bit younger than us when he made it. I think he was 28.
Oh dear Lord, dude.
Isn't that I'm not trying to depress you.
Oh my God, dude.
He came out
Well, how
swinging.
how old was fucking Paul Rubens when he was fucking leading this film?
I think he was in his early 30s, it looks like.
Well, then there's still time.
Yeah, there's still time. No, I mean, it's cool that I mean, I've heard people saying that this is their favorite Tim Burton movie this week, you know.
That's
Um,
fucking
I
sick.
could I could see why. And like just to get back to your point about the art house thing, I feel like it encapsulates so many different types of humor throughout, you know?
Yeah.
Like at some points it's self-aware, at some points it's like very childish and free, you know, like
It makes me wish more directors just fucking relaxed. Cause like,
yeah.
dude, like when you're like, dude, I love, the whole like him and Dottie, like their relationship is literally
Yeah.
no romance. Like it's not romantic at all, but the whole time you're like, hell yeah, that's his chick,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
and he doesn't even like, he just acts like he doesn't even want to talk to her and just laughs when he
I
walks
mean,
away and shit.
you could read this as a sigma. He's a sigma male, you know. He's just it's
Yeah,
him and
for
his
sure.
bike. He's out in the He's got no
Yeah,
time for the
dude.
ladies. His whole Daddy, you don't want to get involved with me. I'm a bad man.
Yeah.
Or whatever he says to her in the bike shop is so funny. And then he
Yeah, there's a
walks out
lot.
holding, and then he walks out just holding the horn up in the air, just like, ah!
Yeah, I love the bike. I love like the freestyle like BMX gang that's just like children that's just like
Oh
fucking chill.
yeah.
Then
That's a
just
total Tim Burtonism too. I feel like he's just like,
mm.
yeah, let's get 8 kids wearing fucking like bike armor, essentially. Like the design is so good throughout this thing.
Well, I didn't really see the TV show until I was like, I think on high school they would like play it on Adult Swim at night.
Yeah.
So I never saw the show as a kid. Like I saw the movie as a child, and then when I got older, I saw the reruns of the TV show when I was like already like smoking weed and shit. So like I
Mhm.
liked it for like a different, you know,
Yeah.
for like a different thing. Like
I haven't seen
but
any of the show,
well, that was
but
one of Lawrence Fishburne's first jobs, I think. And
he's
I
Larry
saw
Fishburne back then.
yeah, well, he was Cowboy Curtis, but I saw a interview where he talks about, there was like I think it was just a PA on set that was like fucking running coffees and shit that, you know, they hit it off, and Lawrence Fishburne was really nice to him. And I guess like this guy went on to, I think, direct Boys in the Hood,
Mhm.
and then like ended up really fighting for Lawrence Fishburne to get like a really big role in that movie from like when they met on the set of Pee Wee.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, he's one of the fucking coolest. Like one of my favorite actors. He just seems so fucking cool in every movie that he's in, where like him in Deep Cover is like one of the coolest fucking roles, and coolest undercover cop role ever. And I don't know, something about that dude just rules.
Did you see he's got like a tiny part in Apocalypse Now?
Yeah, I didn't even realize that
Because
until
he's credited as Larry Fishburne in that movie.
yeah, I didn't realize that until recently, actually.
But yeah, he's great. I mean, Matrix, fantastic.
Yeah, man, he's a fucking really, really fucking up there as far as like actors that I just like respect and think that like they always just bring something to the table that's like this pure coolness that
Mhm.
just makes a movie something that you want to revisit more often than others.
What
But
was that
yeah,
other one you were telling me about just now?
Deep Cover,
Deep Cover. I've never seen that.
dude, is Lawrence Fishburne going deep undercover as a drug dealer, and you know helping sell drugs, and with coke and crack and all
Mhm.
that. And it's wild. He like gets it just it's like you watch him kind of get sucked up in the life until at the end you're like, is this guy even a cop anymore? Like he doesn't even know if he
Mhm.
wants to be a cop,
Mhm.
he's just like he just tries like liquor and drugs like while he's a cop for like the first time and shit, and gets sucked up into it.
Mhm.
And it's just a wild ride, just
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
watching him navigate the drugged out underground,
Mhm.
and just being the coolest motherfucker the entire time. So that's, dude, that's up there for like older crime dramas.
Mhm.
That's for sure a must watch. But yeah, man, I was just tripping out though. Like I feel like I never pieced it together that, you know these kind of comedies, like they were sold as comedies, but dude, the artistic elements and
Mhm.
the set design and the shots and the just how smart the fucking comedic dialogue is, for like, it's so weird how smart, and like the timing is so good, and how people kind of like remember it as like, oh yeah, that goofy ass movie with that
Mhm.
goofy ass dude, Pee Wee Herman. That goofy ass dude that jacked off in the fucking theater. Like
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
a dude, like any boomer, they're just like, oh, that guy that jacked off in the theater. Like they
In a
always
porno theater.
Yeah, and like in the bathroom too, like probably like the most more that's dude.
Mhm.
He could have just been sitting in his chair. No, he went to the bathroom. Give this guy a break. He was probably in a
Yeah.
fucking probably in a stall. You know, not the worst, not the worst offense,
I think some
but
people can't, it just like it shakes them,
mhm.
It sucks. It feels
It
like
sucks. Boomers, I think, might be worse about it though. Like when I feel like because they only had the mainstream media
mhm,
forever, so they only had like the news and shit. So it's like, I'll be like bummed about like I'll be like bummed like, oh my god, like Sinead O'Connor died, and then
mhm.
some boomer in my family is just like, well, she's just some bitch that ripped up a picture of the Pope, like I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, like fucking get over it, get over it, mom,
Yeah.
like there's a they can't like crack through that one media moment that like tainted them or whatever, and now it's like that shit just bums me out. But I think it's like it's the the result of only having that one, only having a few news stations, only
Mhm.
having a few papers to read from, and not having this you know if there's anything that I hope that like one day social media can like almost erase is like just that kind of thing,
Mhm.
where it's like, it could do the opposite. But um
I feel like it's like people like to be in the group and they like to gossip, and that's what it is, like they don't want to stand up. It's like it's easier just to like reduce people who are existing in a big way that's like almost threatening to their own worldview, I guess,
yeah, and then you
like
have to
Tom
like there
Cruise,
has
like
yeah.
Tom Cruise is a guy who jumps on the couch, and like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's like it's easier to reduce them because they're breaking the mold in one way or the other, and it's easier to just dismiss that as an outside sort of like deviant behavior versus
Yeah,
like being like, no, this is like part of me and that's another human being.
yeah, these people, yeah, the tear down of the living legend is like,
Mhm.
it's been going on forever, dude. It's just
Yeah.
like some people can't handle that, like they can't handle that somebody has done so much good, I guess.
I think
Like,
people like want to tear down people with good work ethics, and like I feel like we wouldn't be so obsessed over what everyone else is doing if we just focused on our own craft, and like I mean it's like what we do, we're like constantly working towards like
yeah,
defining ourselves versus like sitting around like bitching and moaning about whatever else other people are doing.
yeah,
And
dude, like,
I can go and point around and be like, oh, that person's more successful than I am or whatever, but like that just like what's the point? And I mean, even if the fact that these people are teared down or whatever, like they still hopefully can exist, like have some sort of sense of peace. And it's like we lost out. We lost out that we didn't get more Pee Wee Herman stuff or
yeah, like what
Sinead
I don't
O'Connor or whatever.
I don't know what it is that like I don't know, like it does seem to it's usually people that don't have it usually does seem like the person that has too much time on their hands, I think, that goes a little too hard with it. And that's probably largely why they hyper obsess over these like shortcomings or like weird
Yeah.
moments for other people. But like, man, it's like it's like everybody can only like look one way at a time, like we
That's what I'm
all
saying.
like dude, it's funny though to see even like on like a podcast like the Adam Friedland show, to like
Mhm.
watch Nick Mullen just be like stressed out about like talking about Lizzo. That was like so funny. I don't know if you saw that clip,
I didn't.
dude.
What
He's
was
just
he
like,
stressed
oh,
out about?
that he even has to speak about it, like
Yeah.
that it even had to be brought up on their show, and he's just like, oh, like,
Yeah.
he's so
Yeah.
like he's like so fucking I mean,
over it.
like, but then it's like I'm a different type of person than the average infuriated whatever Facebook user or whatever, where I'm like, what do we find out that like Lizzo is a fun boss? Like she like, like in my mind, I'm like, this is this seems like bachelorette party antics at
Mhm,
most,
mhm.
So she has some pissed off people that she's fired. Like, yeah, everybody that gets fired is gonna fucking shit on their boss, But we give all these
No,
disgruntled,
they were
all
right.
these,
I was wrong.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The disgruntled platform.
yeah, like, oh, like you don't like your boss anymore that took away your job,
Yeah.
because they decided that whatever, that's their fucking business. Like if she doesn't want anybody getting any bigger than her physically, then that's her rule. Dude, that's her fucking rules. She's the
Yeah.
fucking boss. Like, whatever, dude. Fuck these employees. Fuck these
It's
dancers.
hard, man. Yeah, it's like you,
How
you got to
quickly,
suffer for the art. You got to suffer for the art.
dude. And that woman did suffer. Like, dude, that woman fucking lived in her car for a long time. She's, I think, probably still an alcoholic, but she'll probably, she, dude, watch her quit drinking and lose a bunch of weight and just fucking kill it.
Yeah.
Like, I could really see that. I could see,
She'll be back in 18 months with a 18 months, 180 pounds lighter.
yeah, and I could see this being like a weirdly like some sort of ends up. Yeah, I don't know. This might be okay for her,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it was bothering me thinking about all the people that. Well, you have like all the people that shit on her for being like a fat lady that like shows her body, right? So you have a large I
Oh,
know a
you have
lot of these
a
people,
large what?
a large group of people in this country that are like, fuck her. They're like, fuck her. She's disgusting just because, she's
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
she's fat.
Hmm.
And then you have all the people that are supposed to be like, yas for the big girls on her side that are now gonna side with her fucking disgruntled backup dancers
Yeah.
and like, oh, she really wasn't one of the big girls. So that's a lot of hate. Like if you
Yeah.
combine those two groups, like the people that like were like way on her side for like, all that, and then you take all the people that still aren't going to like her because
Hmm.
she's like just a big girl and not a lot of clothes. And I feel extremely bad for her right now, actually, because that's a lot of heat.
This is the reason why this identity stuff doesn't work, because there's really no such thing as a fat person. You know what I mean? It's what your highlight like there's no correct way for them to act. You know what I mean? Because they're just
Oh
people
yeah.
like everyone. You know what I
I
mean?
was like, what do you mean, dude? Look around. It's like they're
No,
everywhere.
I mean in the
Yeah, no, I know
sense
what you
of what
mean.
you're talking about, because they're like, oh
Yeah.
yes, queen, go off, she's one of us. Really, we're all nothing like each other, and if
Yeah,
you
I'm
look at
sure.
that person, there's it's like there's every type of person in every category that you could see, so
Yeah, they should be lucky that their boss took them to the strip joint in Europe to have a fucking
mhm.
blast. They probably got drunk as fuck with her. They probably had a really fun night. So, and now they're fired, and now they get to say, oh, well, actually, fuck my
Yeah.
boss the whole time. Fuck all the memories I had. Fuck all the cities that I got to see. Actually, I just hated my boss. She's a bitch. And like, to be like, it just blows my mind to like see where we are with that whole, you know, like on the Adam Freeland podcast when they're like, well, this has to be the last one. This has to be the end of it, right? Like you're talking about Lizzo getting fucking hung up for dude,
Yeah.
sexual
Yeah.
claims. Like, are you fucking kidding? Like, where are we at, dude? Like, this is insanity.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Like, this
It
is
is.
past. Like, it starts with Harvey Weinstein and it ends
Or
with
Bill
Lizzo.
Cosby. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts with Cosby, whatever, ends with Lizzo, and that's this entire. That's
Yeah.
the entire fucking. It's insane. Like I just don't.
Well, you know, in 5 years, all of our content's going to be generated by AI, which will never be problematic. So we can just enjoy stuff, and we'll never have to hear anything bad about anything because it won't be made by people.
Well, I can't wait to say an android stuck a finger up my ass and demand
Yeah.
millions of dollars for some software that Elon Musk's
I got
Elon
molested
Musk's
by
robot.
Facebook.
Yeah, one of the early models of Elon Musk's X robots was cleaning my house and decided to stick two fingers up my ass. And now
It's just an iRobot remake, but Will Smith was just sexually assaulted by a robot, and that's why he hates him the whole time.
yeah, and that's why he turned out that way. Because my Tesla vacuums tried to suck my dick when I was on the couch. And now we got problems. But the whole getting back to this whole Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
No, this whole
I love Napoleon Dynamite, dude. That was a childhood. That one and Nacho Libre were like my. Have you seen Nacho Libre?
Of course.
Oh, love that one too. Like, and that guy just got his bag and got out. I feel like he did those two movies.
I don't know what he did after. I don't know what he did after those two. But whoever that man is, I don't even know his name. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know his name. Is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
And to just have all that,
Tina, come get your.
All those, the most quotable movie probably ever made.
I went as I did a little Napoleon Dynamite costume for last Halloween. I should have popped on the shirt for this. Yeah.
Dude, yeah, my brother did the dance to the best of his ability at like his fourth grade talent show or whatever. Like, dude, that movie made waves, dude. Waves across the country. And like to get all those fucking iconic performances on this little independent film. I mean, I'm sure it costed a couple bucks, but fuck, man. To get those performances. And
I was looking up the Pee-wee's budget and it was only $7 million.
Wow.
I mean, I guess that's the 80s, but still, like.
Dude, Kip and LaFonda is like fucking that whole interaction of like them just meeting online and she just like comes out and like hands him the chain. Like, she just hands him like his bling. Like, you're with me now. And like, he just like puts on his do-rag and says goodbye. Dude, that shit was fucking killing me. Like, I was like, holy shit, this is a fucking like a middle of the country like cornfield fever dream. Where like, you know, Kip just meets this fucking
I like when they're out in the park and he's like caressing her foot with his like sock outside of his like sandal.
Yeah. So, dude, so weird, but so
and Uncle
good.
Rico is so good too with his football, like.
Oh yeah, with all his creepiness and just all of his dude. I say that now to saying like Uncle Rico syndrome. Like I use that like all the time when we're talking about like somebody that like we went to high school with or something. And they're just hung up on like how they didn't go to the NFL. And they're just like, dude, they got fucking Uncle Rico syndrome. They went to the army, you know. They never got over it. They didn't catch a pass in a playoff game that like is just they have like PTSD and they have more PTSD from like the homecoming game than like the war that like Iraq that they went to like a year later.
Bro, like I barely even remember being like 18. Like it seems like a crazy time of my life that I feel like would be like the peak for someone, you know? Like when I was 16.
That's a bad time to peak for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like anyone who's like talking about, or I guess it's college football, but I mean still like even up through 22, like I don't think I was even a person back then. To be like that was the pinnacle of my life. Like that'd be wild.
Yeah. It's kind of weird to see like older people like talk about like, you know, college athletes and say like, you know, kind of like suck them off and like you know, their abilities and shit. And it's like you are talking about a young man, and it's just odd to me. Like this kid is probably like, he's trying to be like a good athlete, but like he's like also like just trying to get his dick sucked and like pass like some tests on Adderall, and like, he's just been drinking vodka and Red Bull the night before, and he's immature.
Mhm.
And you have like 50-year-old men like betting like mortgages and shit like on like whether he's gonna like score touchdowns. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy as hell. Sports betting.
I like gambling like with poker, but
Oh yeah,
I don't
blackjack and
know.
stuff at
Yeah,
casinos is super
but
fun.
like to have that, and like I grew up with no like team affiliation or anything, so I find it like sports betting, I feel like for me would just really be about if I could get into it in some way. You know what I mean? But like idolizing over players is like odd to me. Like I'll be watching a game or something and someone will be like, that dude's gonna be a millionaire. I'm like, great,
Mhm. Yeah, like I have
good
my
for
like,
him.
I have my Randy Moss jersey from when I was like watching the Vikings when I was like a little kid. And I'd still fucking buy a Randy Moss jersey. Like
Hmm.
there's certain things like that. But like even like, like a new player that's like younger than me, am I gonna like, drool over this guy? Hell no. Like dude, I got so over sports in the last couple of years. Just dude, like there was only so many years I could take like my favorite football team losing in the playoffs. And like, some people like I started to be like, okay, no, for real, fuck this. I was like,
Are you
fuck
wait, are you a
this.
Bears fan?
Hell no, dude.
You're a Vikings fan.
Yes.
Okay.
My whole life. It started with my grandpa.
Hmm.
That's how I grew up. And yeah, I don't have a whole lot of Chicago love in my bloodstream. And I
It's
was
been
fucked with.
drained.
Dude, it's been drained since I was a youth. I was fucked with for wearing Vikings jerseys at school, the whole thing. Never truly accepted
Hmm. Hmm.
as whatever.
Always an outsider.
Yeah, Chicago musician. No, you're from 20 minutes, 25 minutes away. You're not allowed. That whole thing. So
You
I
should
don't
rock a
know.
Moss jersey on your tour.
Dude, I've rocked a Moss. Yeah, there's some pretty sick pictures of the last time we played in Minnesota. I think I had like an authentic vintage Moss jersey that I was throwing down in. And I just love a rebel. Randy
Yeah.
Moss was a fucking weed scented rebel.
Hmm.
Like him, fucking Allen Iverson. I've always loved those, just like those characters, like those types of players
Yeah.
were, and then what's the polar opposite would be like Tim Tebow or something.
Hmm.
Or
I
like,
fucked with what's his name? Aaron Rodgers. Because he likes scotch. I found that to
dude,
be very
now I
relatable.
now I fuck with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
For a long time, I just was online talking about how he probably has a boyfriend. But now I'm like, Danica Patrick. I'm like, wow, he picked the most masculine woman in the world to date. I'm like, what's up with that? No,
Yeah.
like now I'm all for him. And I
Yeah.
think, I think after he went through all the like Packers fan hate when he was like, oh, I'm gonna leave. And then like all these Packers were like pissed as fuck at him. I thought that was cool, but I know he's always been like kind of salty because like he was like from San Francisco. He was supposed to
Hmm.
something with like they had a chance to like the 49ers had a chance to take him and they didn't. So like
Hmm.
every time that he plays he's like, I've had to live in fucking Wisconsin and through the winter for my
Hmm.
entire fucking adult life because he
What
wasn't
is he? He's a
whatever.
Jet now, right?
Yeah, I think so. He's still a drunk, but I
No, I
like the
said a
guy.
Jet.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
but
he's
he
still a
loves like,
drunk.
yeah, every game, dude, he's like, I can't wait to just get home and just chug whiskey. And they're like, all
Yeah.
right. They're like, okay. No, he's cool now. And he's like, he's down with like what was he on he's your average fucking chill, fuck the vax dude, he's chill.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So whatever,
Yeah.
he's good. He's good
Exactly.
with me.
He had the really good interview with Bonnie Vare, and they were both like sitting up somewhere drinking scotch.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of this.
Yeah.
I think I saw like some Rogan clips or something, but I didn't.
He did the Bon
He's
Iver Rogan circuit.
yeah. I don't even know
Um,
anything about the Bon Iver or whatever. I don't know. I don't know
Jay
anything about
Vernon.
him.
I
I don't
think
know him.
Justin Vernon would be chill. He's been on Kanye's tracks for like the last 15 years, essentially.
What the hell?
Or no,
Oh, so I've definitely
he was on my Twisted Dark Beautiful Fantasy as a feature on a
so I've
couple.
definitely heard his work through that then. I didn't know that though.
He's the I'm up in the woods. I'm down on my mind. On Who
All
Will
right.
Survive in America.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I didn't
But
know much about the guy, but
he seems chill.
anybody that's thrown down with Ye is probably pretty chill.
Did you get a chance to hear the new Travis Scott album?
No, I
Fuck with that.
didn't. No, I fuck with him. I almost fuck with him heavy just because people like were calling him like a murderer. And I was
Yeah,
like,
people are
and
still calling him a murderer.
dude, I
It's
was
so
like,
funny. I was watching that rollout and I was just like, this is again back to the Lizzo thing. It's just like
yeah.
the
Dude, it's all the
literal
same people.
no, it's like the literalism of all these claims is just insane. He's like, oh, that's a literal murderer.
He
I'm
murdered
like, no,
his
it's not.
fans.
It's Travis Scott.
He jumped into the pit with a gun and shot 8 of his fans in the head. No, like, dude,
and then he
like,
didn't stop the concert.
yeah, and then
And he
then
kept performing.
and then he went into sicko mode. Dude, it's all these people that have never played for anybody in their life, and like,
Yeah.
dude, I've played, not a fucking Travis Scott crowd, but I've played it was honestly probably a small festival crowd, and there was a girl that there was a shitty barricade because the festival put up a shitty barricade. It was like a bike rack instead of like a real one, and we were on a small stage, and this girl got her leg folded, like probably the bike rack came down. It was a shitty barrier, and it came down while her leg was stuck inside two of the like one of the bars, and her leg got straight up folded. And this happened probably 10 feet in front of my eyes. And I didn't know that this happened until way after the performance. It was like, yeah, you know that girl? It was a girl that we actually went to school with, and it was at Bonnaroo. And they were like, yeah, her leg got fucking snapped in half by that barrier, and they like fucking they like took her out, and the paramedics had to like pull her out.
Yeah.
And I only heard about it, right? And I was like, and I just thought about that moment, and I was like, okay, this girl like got a horrible injury basically right in front of my eyes, and I didn't see that shit. I was fucking performing, you know? I was looking at fucking 50 other people's eyes when this happened, and I just wasn't looking right there. And it happened, and it had nothing to do with us. It actually had something to do with the festival just being, just undermining what kind of whatever security that they needed for that stage and that performance. So I just thought about that, and I was like, yeah, there's no way he knew when people were dying. Like, I've seen how that motherfucker throws down. In all respect to him for being like probably the most live act on the planet right now. And I watched the fucking documentary where they're fucking crowd surfing fucking lifeless bodies, out of the crowd, and people are like fucking getting carted out. And in my mind, dude, as somebody that just like really likes to I have a high respect for people that like throw down like hard. And I was watching that shit, and even though it was fucked up, I was like, that's sick. I was like, that's fucking sick. I was like, dude, they're fucking like their lifeless bodies are like being crowd surfed. Like it looked like dead bodies were being crowd surfed. And this was before people actually like died at this concert and shit.
Yeah.
But dude, like when you're, it happened at the Who concerts. It happened at Rolling Stones concerts. Like people have died, like, during from just people from crowds being too live. Like it's happened, and we don't fucking And we don't blow up fucking Roger Daltrey on Twitter every day like fucking murderer, whatever, 1976, never forget, or whatever whenever the fuck it happened, you know, or the Hells Angels, Rolling Stones thing, you know. We don't do that. We don't treat them that way. But it's like, because it's like, you know, Travis Scott's lived through the iPhone times. He gets it bad. He gets it hard.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that
iPhone,
he's
no
like,
fun.
just, you know, performing and shit.
Yeah. But anyway, the new record is like very Kanye influenced. So I really enjoyed it.
Sick. He helped
Production
Kanye.
wise. Yeah.
He helped Kanye get to his child's birthday that one time.
What?
He was like, Trav, you ever seen that where like Kanye's like,
No.
Travis gave me the address. He's like, they wouldn't let me see my daughter on her birthday, but Travis came through.
Gave me the edit.
He's like, Travis came through with the address, so I'll never forget that. Yeah, man, I love to see fucking people like, dude, you're talking about like, part of me is like, what do you think's gonna happen? Like, you're talking about the livest act on the planet, right? You're talking about like one of the biggest performers in the world on our fucking planet, where most, you know, where is going to gather the biggest crowds that you could possibly have at a concert, and his music is intense. And yeah, tragedy is fucking, a tragedy like that is horrible.
Yeah.
But if it's, you know, if something like that, if an accident like that is going to happen, it's probably going to happen there. You know, it's probably not going to happen at the fucking Coldplay concert at the stadium. It's probably going to happen there because you're talking about the youth. Like, you're talking about the craziest fans, the most fucked up kids that are taking fucking drugs for the first time. They're dehydrated. Yeah. It's a more high risk environment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, but you go there when you're young because that is, you know, that's where you want to fucking throw. That's the kind of experience that you want to have at that age.
Yeah.
You know, it's like all the Odd Future shows that I went to when I was little, or, you know, in high school, or all, like, you know, when me and my friend went to fucking Waka Flocka at the Congress Theater when we were like 16, and we were like, oh shit, we're actually like the only two white kids here with like skinny jeans on. And like just walking up to the line, we were like, I was like, oh shit. Like we were like fucked with just walking in.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and like, dude, fights breaking out. And, you know, I think back to those experiences, but it's like, you know, that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to be like in the shit, like when I was going to see something. And so that's where it's gonna happen, you know. That's
For
where
sure.
that's just it's the most heat, it's the most combustion. And you know, that sucks that people can't step back and just, you know, fucking humanize the guy and like understand what he's working with, like what he's dealing with.
And to just take that line of logic and to call someone a evil person because of it is crazy. You know, like obviously mistakes were made, but like to just act so like that person's so irredeemable is just kind of bizarre to me. You know?
I think it's also a good for like, you know, people that are watching those things play out. It's also a good way to kind of read people and see like what kind of person people are really. Because like I remember all the people that, you know, jumped on Instagram and like started calling him a murderer. I remember all the people that I follow that reacted like that. Or like, you know, like Will Smith, like, you know, smacking Chris Rock. And like, I remember the people on Instagram that were like, fuck yeah, Will. It was like a lot of girls. And then I looked at them like, oh, I was like, you don't know how big of a red flag that is. You know, like people really like let you know what kind of person they are, like freely.
Yeah.
And it's those people that are like, you know, Lizzo is fat phobic. The fucking
Mhm.
girl the fucking lady that's been called fat more than anybody in the world probably ever. Like, dude, she's gotten it bad.
Mhm.
And to be like, to throw the fat phobic at the person that suffered probably the most online bullying for being fat in our whole time
Mhm.
is just completely ridiculous. So, it's those people make themselves very easy to spot now, especially just like on their Instagram story. All
Mhm.
they have to do, all they have to do is repost something with a couple words, and you're like, okay, good to know that that's how you interact with the world.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
You gotta just I just sometimes have to just unfollow. It's like I just don't need to be reminded of this, you know?
Yeah, I like
When
to.
people post like that, it's like I gotta let it go. It's like how much
Yeah,
is this person like upsetting me with just their views?
yeah, dude, you'll follow somebody, and within like watching like 2 days of like whatever they put on their story, you're like, all right, I'm good. Like, never mind. You know, it's so easy to know.
It's still I think it's still important to practice the silence. I'm just like
It's so hard, dude.
wanting to say
It's so
less,
hard.
you know, and I understand the irony of recording a conversation and saying that, but like
Yeah,
I did I did Tales from the Mall and I did Tim's radio show in the past couple weeks. And
sick.
I've said that on every show, just being
Yeah,
like, I don't know why I'm here, to be
yeah.
honest, because I'm just like almost tired of my own presence online in a
Now
way.
I really finally understand the what my Zoomer cousins are saying when they say less, fam.
Hmm.
When they go
Say
say
less,
less.
fam.
Yeah, when they're just like say less.
No
I'm like,
cap.
I understand now.
Hmm.
I'm like, they really just understand that we're supposed to speak less. I'm like, damn, they got
Yeah.
to figure it out.
We don't realize how loud we're being with our phones because we didn't grow up with it, you know?
No, they're fucking loud as fuck with their phones, dude. Dude, when I was
The
filming with my
Zoomers?
cousins, oh, dude, when I was filming with my
How
cousins,
much younger are they than you?
oh, they're first couple years of college,
Hmm. Gotcha.
and
But yeah, tell me what it was like.
oh, dude, it was a fucking blast. Like, don't get me wrong, completely positive experience only, but it was really crazy to see kind of just like how they use their phones, basically like waking up in the morning before filming, and like they're all walking through the house like all listening to like different songs like through their phone speakers,
Hmm.
and like interacting with each other, like while somehow also showing each other TikToks, while also filming each other's phones making TikToks. And like it was like this crazy ass
Hmm.
like meta clusterfuck that like was not stressing them out at all,
Hmm.
where they were just like ha ha, like it was just like it was like everything was like deep fried, and like I didn't understand like half the shit, like how like what was funny about some of like the TikToks that they were showing me. and
Yeah.
and I was just like, part of me was like, holy shit, like this is like an entirely new like plane of like comedy,
Yeah.
where I was like, whoa, like what they are like sharing with each other and like losing their shit over and like cackling about. I'm like, I can't even like decipher like the humor in this. And I was like, that's a trip.
And then you pull out the camcorder and they say, "What's that?"
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Did you
but they
shoot
all,
anything? Did you shoot it digitally at all, or was it all with tape?
no, I ended up having to go all digital
Oh, it
after
was
like
all digital. Gotcha.
yeah, after a few, it still looks pretty old, but
Yeah.
after attempting to shoot only a couple scenes on VHS-C on those mini tapes, and with the battery life that I was dealing with, dude, I had to buy like 4 or 5 batteries from eBay, and
Hmm.
it still wasn't enough. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
god.
fuck. I was like, this is not even possible. So then my cousin luckily had one of like the very early digital Sony camcorders
Hmm.
from when he was, I don't know, in like second grade or something. And it looked pretty good. And it was a little piece of shit. Like, and I was
Yeah.
like, I was just looking at. We did a couple scenes with it, and I was like, yeah, if we throw a little bit of, if we throw a little texture on here, we can get
Mhm.
away with it. And it, of course, made the entire editing process a breeze,
Yeah.
even though it was still a pain in the ass. Like that's still days of work after you're
Yes.
done. But man, it was really fun to just have them posted up for a few days. I was gonna go. I was like, I was fucking with them at first. I was like, okay, so this is the late '90s, so like we're taking your phones away for 3 days. Where nobody's, you're allowed to play Nintendo. You're not allowed to have phones. But no, I wasn't gonna do that to him.
You could have gone
I was
full
like,
Kubrick on him.
yeah, I was like, no, Daniel Day Lewis. I was like, you're allowed to eat rice. No, I was like, I wasn't gonna go full Daniel Day Lewis crazy shit on them. And it was the first thing that I was ever trying to fucking film, dude. So I was like,
Yeah.
I was just glad that they were, able to give me a few days of their time
Yeah.
and, help me with ideas along the entire way. And then going out to Indiana to edit in my cousin's hometown, that was also a trip. And we did some reshoots out in the woods in Indiana. And because we just didn't have enough woodland footage.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah, take me to whatever woods like, you guys would drink or like smoke weed at. Just like take me to that place. And dude, we started driving like into like the middle of nowhere. And I
Mhm.
was like, where are we going? I was like, this is the chill spot.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, yeah, we're almost there. And then I was like, dude, this actually feels like extremely creepy. And we ended up going to like the scary woods.
Mhm.
In real life, it was scary because we're walking through these woods, and I'm like, dude, wherever the woods stop and like somebody's property begins, like their backyard farm
Mhm.
is where like they will shoot you. Like, and I was like, yo, we're just chilling on this path, but I'm not really trying to go,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really trying to get shot by some farmer right now. And that was like a whole horror element that like was not a part of the movie at all. That just like, Indiana's weird, man. Like you're not supposed to like if you turn around in like somebody's driveway,
They'll
that's
shoot you.
not, yeah, that's like not, they'll shoot you, yeah. That's
They'll
not
shoot
in a
you.
good,
They'll just come out and they'll kill you.
they'll shoot your tires first. No, they're
Make sure you can't get anywhere.
yeah, they'll just
Ah,
hard, dude, they'll just fucking hard stare you from like their porch. And I'm just like, all right. They see those Illinois plates, they're like,
not in
they
our
start,
town.
they, yeah,
Don't try that in my town.
they start licking their lips. They're like, I know you're
Mhm.
not strapped like me,
Mhm.
boy. I'm just like, oh fuck. Like, no, there is no gun in my glove box. So
No.
um
Well, I'm glad it
yeah,
went
it's
well.
yeah, dude, it was sick. No fucking no major boo-boos happened. And he's starting film school this fall. And I was like, dude, I don't like, I think you're gonna be fine. Cause it's like his first like serious kind of college experience kind of thing. And as far as something that like he wants to do, like, he's done like whatever community college, gen eds bullshit.
Yeah.
But he's like, yeah, I want to do, film school and just fucking, he's been editing a lot of shit. And he's helped me, like he did the Punch Drunk video. And like he's pretty decent at editing like already.
Yeah.
And knowing like what shots like look sick. So I think it might be a breeze for him. But
So did you all
yeah.
shoot it together, or was he doing all the camera work and you were just kind of guiding that, or
Well, I'm technically like one of the friends of the friend group,
okay.
but you
Gotcha.
don't like, but it's just my voice.
Hmm.
So like I'm interacting with every other friend in the group, but it's like it's similar to like the layout of like Project X. Have you seen that movie?
No,
It
but
was
you're
like
the
a
POV.
yeah, it was like a house party movie, and
Hmm.
there's like a character that you don't really see the whole time. He's just one of the friends. So I'm that dude, and it was just me, my cousin, a few actors, a few of his homies, and
Hmm.
then uh, one actress from Philadelphia, and she fucking killed it. She played the perfect like kind of bitchy older sister,
Mhm.
And my cousin was just talking mad shit to her on, like I was like, yeah, this is just the sister that you don't even want to fucking spend a second around her. And that's, you know, and your friends don't hate her or anything. I'm sure you've had like, growing up, like somebody who like you liked when their older sister was around, but your friend was maybe like really annoyed by that.
No, I was the older sibling that just did that to my younger brother.
Oh, okay. For me, there was always kind of like, a couple people where it was like, it was cool that their sister was home because she was hot, like,
I
and
see what
like,
you're saying, yeah.
right. And it wasn't like cool for my friend. He was like, the fuck, like he was like, I don't like this. I don't like that all my friends,
Wanna hang
you
out
know,
with my sister, yeah.
yeah, they think it would be cool to spend time around my sister. So that was kind of like the kind of the vibe I was going for with like their whole
Mhm.
relationship. And yeah, it's a fucking it's literally just my fucking idea of mixing two movies that were cool, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and fucking Blair Witch Project. It's just my own
Yeah,
it's my own combination of those uh things, like set in the suburbs around where I grew up loosely. So it's just I just wanted to try something that I could actually fucking get done. Cause you
yeah.
have these like whatever, people have script ideas and they're like, man, if I ever had the money, if I ever had, and it's like, dude, have you not learned anything from fucking historically from filmmakers? Like, look no further than like the Kevin Smiths that were like, oh, this is what and that
Mhm.
motherfucker still had to take a huge gamble. He still
Yeah,
had to risk, many credit cards of debt and whatever he had to do, just to do this very based in reality,
mhm.
very homegrown thing that was very much like his real life. So it's like, you have to use you can only really use what you have around you, and
Mhm.
that's how you're gonna get something done. And even though, this is my first rodeo and it's probably not going to be more than 20 minutes long, but it was
Yeah,
still like, I had to kind of keep it real with myself with like, what locations do I have? Where can we drive to where it's not going to eat up too much daylight?
yeah.
All that, just all that shit. You know,
No,
and
man,
then
I
you'll
felt that I
actually,
felt that shit when I was making the record, you know? Like, I had
yeah,
to self-fund all that and, like, understand kinda what my limitations were with my budget and, like, the performances I got and whatnot, but, like,
and
yeah, like, you
that's
do
good.
at the end of the day, you do have to sit down and just get it done, you know? And, like, I mean, I've talked to you about it in DMs and whatever, just, like, the roadblocks I feel at times, but, at a certain point, I had to just yeah, just be like, "What do I have? What can I do?" And then, you put it out in the world, you know?
Oh yeah.
It's fair, and what you're doing is very brave, it's trying a new art form and, you know
Dude, honestly, it was just so nice to like, dude, I think I spent so much time thinking about like music, songs, listening to
Yeah.
songs,
Mhm.
figuring out what my sound is or what I'm supposed to be making, and to just like totally like fucking do a 180 and just look at something else
Yeah.
and just be like, this has nothing to do with anything that's ever, you know, bothered me or annoyed me,
Mhm.
or I fucking escape to like movies at night, and
Yeah.
that just brings me joy. So now I'm like trying to contribute to this thing that I never have before, that like so far has only brought me joy.
Yeah.
Was just
That's
like
a
a
really cool way of
fucking
looking at it. Yeah.
fucking movies never burned me. Even when I
Yeah.
watch a shitty movie, like
Yeah.
I don't think about actors as like, oh, could that
Competition.
yeah, competition, or like could they fuck me over in any way, or like should I be working with them? They're
Yeah.
on a different fucking planet than me, so I can like respectfully watch it happen.
I think it gives you a way to almost give yourself a new platform as well, which will help I think will help you in your music as well, because 'cause it'll be less pressure almost in a way. Because like,
Yeah,
I think you can feel like doors close for you, and a
yeah,
good
totally.
way a good way to get around that is to just try something new, and then you realize that the world isn't as small as you thought it was. Because
Yeah.
that's what I find a lot is I feel limited and I feel like trapped sometimes, and maybe it'll be trying a new type of painting or writing a song or whatever, but like
Yeah.
finding those new ways to
And then you end up,
find a platform for yourself, then
yeah.
it
And then
helps.
you find out eventually how much that other world can still help whatever this
Yeah,
other thing. Like, and then it got to the credits and I was like, oh yeah, I have the perfect song for the credits. Like I already have it. And
yeah,
it wasn't even something that I made. Like
yeah,
it was a fucking song that my friend made that I was like, yeah, that's perfect. And I just texted him like, can I use this? It's gonna fit perfect. And there was no like ego where I was like, oh, I have to inject a song that I made into
hmm,
this. I
yeah,
didn't feel like that. I didn't feel like that at all.
hmm,
It was like, no, I want to like score this. I mean, there's no score until there's a song in the credits, but I just knew like it didn't have to be my fucking music when the credits roll.
yeah.
I talk in this fucking movie the whole time. I fucking,
There's enough of you in it.
yeah, I already did all the shit that I need to do. I don't need to
Yeah,
fucking sprinkle my ass on top of this at all. So
I think that's awesome, man. I'm
thanks,
excited
dude.
for it. The trailer looks really cool.
Dude, the
Um,
trailer was designed to be hype.
it is.
I hope it's hype. I hope it's hype as fuck.
It's a drug trip for sure. It's like speed or something.
Good. And dude, another great song that my buddy Drew made.
Yeah,
Fucking
I
sick.
really liked it.
But yeah, I don't really know how to fucking loop this back to just the, this the childhood comedic surrealism that like helped us work our way into understanding these more artful, understanding or trying to understand the works of like the, David Lynch's of the world, and not totally being like, after seeing like how fucking wild Pee-wee is and shit, you're like, yeah, I'm like, well, maybe David Lynch movies could be even funnier, you
Yeah.
know? I'm like, maybe everybody should fucking chill out and just like crack some jokes, man. I
Yeah.
was like, this should bring so much joy.
Yeah, I mean like, and
And the fact,
also
yeah,
to
just comedy's fuck.
to get back to your point about trying something new, Pee-wee has to go on an adventure, and at the core of that movie, I think, is like a very classic hero's journey that exists through the weirdness that holds all that together,
Yeah, dude, he leaves the
because
playhouse.
he leaves his house to find the bike because his bike gets stolen and he has to go, and eventually getting his bike back helps him advance in life. So,
Yeah.
when you lose something, go get it, and you may find more along the way.
I really just get so hung up and love the fact that he has to do nothing to get Dottie's love. Literally, like he has to do nothing for her. He literally just fucking ignores her. And like at the end, she's like, yeah, like let's roll out together. Like
She
they're
says, "Don't you
still,
want to see the end?" And he says, "I've already lived it."
yeah. Dude, that's so fucking sick. And just like, that's what I want in a movie. It was like, it was really a nice experience to like
Yeah,
revisit that, and just like, celebrating people's works when they fucking pass on, and just like the,
yeah,
just totally embracing all the awesome shit that they left behind,
hmm,
that we get to experience, is like, just the best way to celebrate somebody when their time is up.
yeah, man. I mean, we're lucky that we get it to enjoy it all for sure.
Yeah. And it's cool that, like, I guess if somebody wants to like, listen to even like candid conversations like this, like that's kind of sick that like they could just like hear us talk like a random day of our lives when
Hmm.
we're like, when we're like 50 or whatever, and if they want to, you know
Exactly. And
They want to
like,
hear what like how much I like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, then like they could check in, you know.
no, you just like you like Pee Wee's game. You like Pee Wee's Riz.
Yeah. Yeah, the dude, yeah, I guess the secret he's got that secret riz where like nobody knew if he was like gay his whole life. Like everybody like, dude, I was like Googling that. It was like, dude, so many people were just like, was Paul Rubens gay? And then there's all these articles that are like, why Pee-wee was the queer icon? And you're just like,
Yeah.
nobody fucking knows. I guess he liked chicks.
He has a very asexual kind of
Yeah.
vibe on screen to me.
Was the
He didn't really
theater
have it.
gay? Was the theater straight porn? Was it a gay porno place? Who
Who
knows?
knows?
It's like David Bowie. Just leave
It
it up to
doesn't
the
matter.
fucking
Yeah, it
yeah.
doesn't fucking matter.
It's fine. You know, I'm gonna stop right now. Yeah, we should stop. We should even
Yeah.
stop saying that whatever we like. You know, no more talking about like how chicks are cool or hot. I'm done. I'm just gonna leave it up to the fucking stars like Paul
Yeah.
Rubens
Yeah.
and the David Bowies because you
Hmm.
know things worked out pretty well for them, and you know they kept to themselves as much as they could.
Yeah. The private rock star, David Bowie.
Yeah,
He really did disappear after the 80s. I think he really did kind of adjust to like home life or something, you know?
it might be easier to like disappear back then when like people were kind of like hunting you in the streets, you know? Like
Yeah.
those people, like those motherfuckers were like hunted. Like, I mean, I know paparazzi still like is out there, like, you know, fucking chasing people in cars and stuff. Like, I know that's still going down, but it's also like, you know, you can, if you're a, you know, if you're like a two-bit journalist, you can just go to like their last Instagram post and like turn it into an article, you know? You don't need to like, you don't really need boots on the ground,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know, chasing them
I
down the
saw the
street.
funniest story this week. It said Daniel Radcliffe would wear the same jacket whenever he was in transit because that way paparazzi couldn't sell pictures of him because he would always be wearing the same outfit.
Really?
Yeah, because they only care about if you're wearing something different, you know? Because all the pictures they
Yeah.
take of him would look the same because he'd be wearing the same black leather jacket and like a hat in all the
And
photos.
he would walk around with 90 dogs. I just seen that photo. I've just seen the photo where he's like rolling around with like
This was
30
back when he
dogs.
was like doing like the Harry Potter movies. But
Fuck
anyway.
yeah.
Any final thoughts for Pee Wee?
No, I think I'm tapped out. I just fucking love the dude's Riz and I
Yeah.
hope to just dude, not only was he dressed sharp as fuck, Pee Wee, like dude, dressed fucking with immaculate swag. When Napoleon Dynamite walks out of the thrift store in his fucking suit for the dance, I was legitimately like, oh my God, dude. I was like, he hit the fattest lick on that thrift store. Like I was like, I want that entire fucking, I want that whole wardrobe, that whole suit. Like, and like, you know, when I was a kid, I was like, oh, look at this goofy
Now
ass
you fuck
suit.
with it. Yeah, now you fuck with it
Now,
now that
yeah,
you're
now
older.
I'm like, dude, that's like the hardest fucking suit I've ever seen. Like perfect width of the tie. Like I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, dude. I was like, he's fucking drip drop, dude. So yeah, it's just funny to see how much I'm like appreciating, you know, like whatever, Pee Wee's fucking shoes now. You know? You're like a kid, you're like, oh, that's goofy. You're
Mhm.
like, now I'm like, damn, he just knew how to dress. He was just cool as fuck.
That's like David Byrne for me. I always fuck with his suits.
His
I was like,
giant
damn,
fucking suits.
yeah, the giant suit. I would rock that shit.
Dude, those suits trigger me so much, dude. It's like the
Why do they
fucking,
trigger you?
I don't know, like that. The Little Pump Kanye video. This shit
Oh,
triggers
the
me, dude.
Roblox. That shit's
Yeah, dude.
hilarious.
Oh my God, dude. I have to get, yeah. I don't know. I
That
don't
would
know
be
why. When people are,
I need
yeah.
to be the little pump version of that for Halloween this year. That would be so much fun. Be like, remember when
Dude,
you did that? Just get some boxes.
dude, we just need to fucking have, we just need to have a fucking,
What was that
we need
song
to,
called? I like it.
Uh,
What was that
I
song
love
called? I love it.
I love it. I think
I think so. Yeah.
you're such a fucking hoe. I love it. That
I
song.
love it. Yeah. You're such a fuck.
Yeah, that was
That's a good one.
that's it's weird to see like these like legendary people like they like have to do the hype song with like
Hmm.
whoever's new like the like a Nicki Minaj having to do like a song with like 6ix9ine because it's
Hmm.
just like he's just like the flavor of the month and it's
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's like dissing him on the song like how this is just ridiculous that like this is even happening
Hmm.
and it's like this weird ass like that's just
Six
so
Nine
weird,
did a
dude.
huge pivot. He's a Latin artist now.
Really?
Bizarre. Yeah. Hmm.
Dude, he's probably better off. For some reason, it seems like Latin artists
They're
like
still
if you're
loved down in Latin America.
dude, if you're like, if you're like a successful Latin artist, like every Latin person in the world will just like agree that like you're a
Yeah.
god at like the
Yeah.
same time. Like when like every person of like any Latin descent, like in the entire globe, like just like hoisted up like Bad
Yeah.
Bunny. And like
No,
now it's the
Lizzo's next record has to be a Latin album. That's how she comes
yeah.
back. She's like, "Fuck you,
Lizzo
white people.
Lizzo will
I'm going. I'm going to Mexico."
yeah, or fucking whatever, Argentina.
Yeah.
She's gonna fucking dude, I'm honestly like worried about this woman. Like
Oh, she'll be okay.
I've only met her once and she was a very like chill, down to earth lady and like was super nice. And like we just shot the shit and we were just drinking and like shared a green room at a festival and
Hmm.
you know, I knew that like she struggled super hard with her fucking career and she was fucking sleeping in her car for a long time and she had that shitty ass she had like the shittiest artist life that
Hmm.
like fucking you hear the stories of people that I was sleeping in my car and shit was awful and I had a great song that didn't do so well and I was like fuck, I want to give up. And she's one of those people that made it out of that.
Hmm.
And yeah, that shit just sucks when you know, I'm not like fucking bumping her shit all the time or anything, but
Yeah.
it's like when you know that it's like somebody really fucking fought tooth and nail and fucking grinded and lost their mind and probably wanted to fucking kill themselves at some point, struggled with fucking booze, whatever it was, and then it's like, oh, no, I hear this person on the fucking, they talk about them on TV all the time now, they're just fat. Like, like the whole journey gets like erased
Hmm.
because now they're a household name.
Yeah.
And that is cruel. And it's just this cruel thing that like we see with, you can watch the Travis Scott videos where he's playing to nobody at a festival at noon and he's playing to like 45 people. And that's just some dude that's just trying to make his shit. And it's
Hmm.
like, it fucking sucks ass that like I see the average person just like delete that struggle. They don't care,
Yeah.
and that shit is just so cruel. And I just see it. Well, I feel like I'm going to see it happen forever.
Yeah.
Whether whoever it is, it's like once they know, oh, this person's famous now. They're already, they already get to eat from their craft. So now they're like they've already had their fill,
Yeah. I'm gonna take it away from them.
Yeah, it's sickening. But yeah, I
Yeah.
guess we'll just fucking I guess we'll just end on that.
Yeah.
How sickening the average person could be that's never created anything. There's just disgusting people everywhere.
We can touch base next time humanity completely alienates us.
Yeah, or yeah, dude. We'll the next time. I'm sure the next time will be very soon.
Yeah, I'll talk to you
I
in
don't know.
72 hours.
Yeah, well, I wonder who it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll see it happen very soon. And then yeah, like dude, yeah. probably the happiest person about like Lizzo just having her fucking life implode is probably like the lipstick girl. That lipstick girl, what's her name? Colleen something.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
That girl's like, whew. She's like fucking
Done with me. Miranda
yeah,
sings or whatever.
yeah. She's chilling with her ukulele, like, I can breathe again. I can breathe
That's
again.
that's a good 30 Rock episode, I think. It's when one of the characters is like under media fire and they're just waiting for like
The
another
next,
thing to happen to like get
yeah,
the heat off of them. Yeah.
yeah. You know,
It's a clown world, man. It's a never ending news cycle. I think like yeah, it's lowest common denominator stuff and like we can rise above that, hopefully.
dude. Hopefully, one person listens to this and then they like stop and they just hesitate.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next time they hear about somebody like that, they just think about this for 1 second.
Maybe
And
they
they're
go
like,
out and
huh.
fucking try doing that on their own and you know realizing their dreams because that's all it is. It's people who
Yeah,
are struggling and they want to
maybe
get
they could, yeah.
they want to pull them back down to their own level versus everyone ascending together, you know.
Yeah, maybe they could bust their ass for 10 years and then have somebody
Yeah.
call them a
Yeah.
murderer in like
Yeah.
2035.
Go play shows to fucking 10 people for 3 years and just tell me how that feels.
Because one day, some like 60-year-old man in Ohio will think that you're the biggest piece of shit in the world
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
he saw a TikTok from some kid that like put his entire life into 1 minute of controversy. Whatever. I gotta eat some fucking dinner.
Me too, man.
But
This is a pleasure.
This is damn good, dude. And everybody rewatch fucking Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Napoleon Dynamite. It's a fantastic double feature, and more Arthouse comedy would be amazing. More and more of that.
Yes. Welcome to the Dollhouse is good too if you haven't seen that one.
Oh, that's a must watch for any human.
That's a little darker, but you know. Anyway.
Oh, but fantastic.
Still good though.
All right, dude.
All right, dude. Have a good night.
You have a good night.
See ya.
See ya.